Hello friends, it's your favorite bard, Korak the Bard, and the title you just clicked on was not clickbait. I'm not talking metaphorically, rhetorically, figuratively, hypothetically, philosophically, or theoretically. I beat up a man in Costa Rica. Now don't worry, I'm going to give you the whole story, and I give you my word as a bard. Once you hear it, you will say, Korak, you did the right thing. So, without any further ado,
let me tell you a story. Picture this.
It's my third day here in Costa Rica. Everything's going well. And my landlady, who is a very sweet and generous person, decided to offer me a ride to the vet to take Elby to get his vaccinations. So we get in her car, we pull out of her driveway, and a neighbor of ours is also pulling out of his driveway. So we start talking and shooting the shit. Now, this will happen a lot in Costa Rica when you're encountering traffic. You may see a couple of people just talking by the side of the road. What you do is give a light tap on your horn, let them know, I'd like to move, please, and they get out of your way. Easy peasy. The motto here is pura vida, just pure life. So it's a very relaxed atmosphere. And then a male Karen pulls up behind us and immediately starts laying on the horn. And we're like, okay, we'll get out of your way, just give us a second. So my landlady, who's driving her car, starts pulling off to the side. My neighbor starts to get into his car so that he can get out of the way. But we're just not moving fast enough for this male Karen. So he pulls up in between our cars, the whole while honking. And as soon as he pulls up to my landlady, he tries to spit on her. And being a male Karen who's not very smart, didn't realize his spit had to cover the distance between him and the interior of his car, then the distance between our cars, and then finally reaching my landlady. So all he ended up doing was spitting in his car, which enraged him even further. And the whole time he's cussing at her and calling her all kinds of terrible names. And he's just losing his shit. And we're just like, this is fun. So he passes by us and we all start moving. He gets about 50 feet down the road and then he pulls his car over in the middle of the road so that he's blocking both lanes of traffic. It is at this point that I reach for my phone, realizing I left it at home. Of all the days to leave my phone behind, when I've got a beautiful situation with a male Karen that would have gone viral on TikTok, it still makes me sick thinking about it. So I've got no phone. My landlady jumps out of the driver's seat of the car and starts yelling at the guy because now he's blocking traffic and buses are pulling up. There's starting to be a bit of a pile up here for people waiting. And no one's honking because they're like, ooh, I want to see what happens next. So my landlady walks around the driver's side of the car, and it's at this point I can't see what's happening because of the way he's got his car parked. Had I known what happened at this point in time, things would have gone differently. But alas, I did not know what happened. What happened was, as soon as she got to his driver's side window, he punched her in the face. Now, my landlady is, I want to say, not quite hobbit-sized, but she is rather short. But she more than makes up for it with that Latina spitfire energy that a lot of Latinas are famous for. So, he punches her in the face. She immediately turns around and just starts saying, fuck you, fuck you, fuck you, while she's hitting his car and walking away. She did no damage to the car. But it's at this point that the male Karen gets out of his car to chase her down. Now, what I'm seeing is what I can only describe as a wax statue of Rush Limbaugh that has been left to melt in the sun. That emerges like a gelatinous cube from the car. And he starts chasing her down, trying to throttle her. And he gets his hands on her and he starts pushing her and she's pushing back. But they're both elderly people, so neither one is gaining or losing much ground. My other neighbor joins the fight and he's also a retiree. So we've got three old people just kind of pushing against each other. It's at this point that your favorite bard decided to act. So very calmly, I put LB in the back seat, made sure he couldn't get out of the car. I get out of the car, I close the door, and immediately start screaming at this guy. Now, you may not know this, but your favorite bard has, in real life, a very powerful voice. And I went all Black Bolt on this motherfucker, just screaming at him to fuck off and get in his car and leave us alone and drive on. He did not do that. So I got up to him, and again, all three people are trying to push each other and nobody's really gaining or losing any ground. So I grab him by the shirt and I push him up against his car. and I say, just get the fuck out of here. Get in your car and drive. It's at this point that the male Karen reaches into his pocket for a weapon, and the weapon was pepper spray. And again, he's an older guy, so I had plenty of time. It was like in Fallout, where everything goes to slow motion, and I can choose my targets. Do I want to hit him in the neck? Do I want to push him? Am I going to deflect the pepper spray? It was all kind of happening in slow motion, so I had plenty of time to do exactly what I wanted to. I deflected the pepper spray with my left hand, and I clocked him in the jaw with my right hand. It was a clean hit, beautifully done, perfectly executed with some great precision, and down he went like a sack of potatoes. The pepper spray got on my hand and into my landlady's mouth because she was standing right next to me. So that was unfortunate, but down he went, and he kept reaching for his pepper spray. So I knocked it out of his hand, and I grabbed him by his shirt, and I dragged his ass around the side of his car and told him to get the fuck out and just keep driving, which eventually he did. So he gets in his car and starts driving away. I get in the car, my landlady gets in her car, our neighbor gets in his car, we all start going our separate ways. It was then that I got my landlady's phone out and took a snapshot of his license plate, which we then went to the police and made a full report. So I'll be sure to keep you posted once I hear something from the police, because they are investigating him. And in fact, I found out later that he is a known entity in this community. He's a bit of a menace, known for flying off the handle, and of course, he's an American. So I fled the United States looking for a country that's a lot more inclusive and friendly and peaceful, and of course I encounter a male Karen from America. And I regret, deeply regret, not having my phone that day, but that's the story. A male Karen flew off the handle, turned everything up to 11, threatened violence, committed assault, and I defended my landlady from this idiot. When I told my friends about it, one of them gave me this White Knight Award, which I'm very proud of. But this is the kind of thing you actually get deported over, because you assaulted a citizen and are just a giant jackass, and they really, really don't put up with that shit here. So here's hoping he gets what's coming to him and he's no longer allowed to live here, because he does not deserve to share this space with us. He belongs in some Walmart where he can throw beer cans off the shelves and security can justifiably tase him. As I said, I'll keep you posted, and this is the part where you say, my favorite bard, Korak the Bard, you did the right thing. I managed to stop the fight. Male Karen got a little bit of physical comeuppance, and nobody died or got seriously injured, which was going through my head when I punched the old guy, thinking, I don't want to give him a heart attack or make him fall over so he breaks a hip. This guy does not need to be my punching bag. He just needs to stop what he's doing. And he did. So that's the story. If you liked it, feel free to toss a coin to your witcher by going to buymeacoffee.com/KorakTheBard if you don't like the commitment of Patreon. But if you are commitment-minded and want early and exclusive access to your favorite bard, go to patreon.com/KorakTheBard. Also check out our Ready to Rumble podcast with me and Doc Scorpion, where we bring you the best of the worst on Rumble and feature people just like our male Karen that I had a run-in with the other day. Until then, this is your favorite bard, Korak the Bard, signing off with a tribute to Karens. Go fuck yourselves.
Karens running the streets these days, letting their privilege show. But they are gonna regret their ways when you let those cameras roll. For the rest